go. All right. Hey, I'm with Rei Gurren. How are you guys doing?
Good.
Pretty good.
Pretty tired, but good.
Cool. Well, yeah, thanks for letting me talk with you guys. And just for starters, can you just kind of start with introductions of everyone?
Hey, how's it going? My name is Bryant. I play drums.
Hey there, everybody in podcast land. My name is Ray, I'm the singer. You know, that fat guy with the long hair. I play guitar as well.
And my name's Ruben. I'm the bass player, so you probably see me the big jiggly guy on stage, slapping the big strings.
Yeah. No, that's cool. I mean, you guys are kicking ass. I saw you guys last month in Gallup. Yeah, that Wicked show at El Moro. Yeah, you guys were the headliners.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, dude, that took a lot out of me that night, man.
Yeah, you guys played pretty late, huh? Like,
Yeah, that's the only downside of it. It's like everyone thinks all these headlines. Yeah, we're gonna be headlining, but it's like no, you're the last one. You're just tired.
It's not as fantastic as it sounds.
But it was fun though.
But-
Like I got to hang out with a lot of people and got to see everyone. And it was just like, man, I wish I could be playing right now.
Oh man, it was like I was just really grateful for everyone that stayed too. It was like, wow, there's actually people staying for us. That's cool.
yeah, no, I caught like pretty much the whole set. I think it probably left like 11:40 or 11:45. It was getting close to midnight, and
Oh, you didn't miss much. Just kidding.
yeah, I don't know. I didn't want to like
We're like 2 songs more.
stay late and like hit all the potholes driving home.
Oh, that was sus.
But yeah, that's good. You guys are play compared to the other bands that night. You guys were probably the only punk band, right?
The punk band that plays with a lot of metal bands, I guess.
I think we were, yeah, punk-ish. Anyway,
Yeah.
well, definitely not metal.
Yeah. How would you describe your band's music or sound?
Holy cow, that's a loaded question. You guys think of an answer while I'm trying to think of one. So I don't know. Well, in the beginning, like back in when we first transitioned from Five Cellars Below into Rei Gurren, we had a mindset of like keeping it like a 3-chord, 4-chord punk. But it was mainly just punk, and we wanted to stay punk with a little bit of
Heaviness.
a little bit of heaviness, but I don't know if we ever succeeded. And we were back then. It was yeah. We just wanted to be different in some way, but I don't think we achieved that either. But I think we are now. As far as the sound goes, you know, it's just I don't know. It's really, really, really kind of interesting to explain because like I do a lot of power chords, a lot of 3 or 4 chord power chords, but I also do like a lot of well, I'm sure they're not made up chords, but just like melodic sounding one strum things, and I do a lot of major chords as well, a lot of open chords and a lot of minors and things like that. So that's, I don't know. Maybe these guys have a better answer than you.
My finger goes to 1, 2, 3. That's it. I don't know. It's just, well, genre-wise, everyone just calls us punk, but throughout the years, God, I don't know how long, but there was a band that heard about us in California, and they called us Otaku Punk, which I thought that was a pretty cool name
Or
because
nerd punk.
nerd punk. And in the beginning, we used to call ourselves anime core because most of the songs we wrote were like anime inspired, which some people are still kind of weirded out by that. Or I think it's pretty cool.
It is still kind of is.
Yeah, because
We've recently written some songs that are still anime inspired.
I don't know how you explain it. It's just stuff that we just kind of enjoy: anime, video games, Godzilla movies, or sci-fi. Nothing too crazy or horror or.
Like Tremors?
Like yeah, we're like that trimmer. We're like trimmers. We're not too horror. We're not too action. It's just right in that middle, like sweet spot.
More like idiots. Idiots with instruments.
Yeah. What I guess what year did you guys start, and who who's the main person that started the band?
Oh gosh, oh man, this goes back a long way, dude. Dang, you guys are aging me here. I was I'm not sure when exactly I started, but I started playing guitar in like '99. Dang, feel so old. But over time, me and the previous drummer Jeff, we would just like jam out in like my little travel trailer with these like tiny Marshall amps, and all we were learning at the time was like Iron Maiden and Slayer, and of course Metallica and Megadeth, the cliche stuff, and that's probably gonna piss off someone. Just stuff like that. We were learning all that stuff, and we actually our really cool our business management teacher in high school. His name's Phil. We got together with him, and he taught us like a lot. He was like, "Hey, guess what? There's more out there other than metal music." Pretty much. He didn't say it like that, but you know what I mean. He's like, so he and then we met Levi, the bass player, somewhere along the way, and he taught us a lot. He taught us how to write music. He taught us how to structure and timing and all that, and how to carry and present ourselves on stage. And he taught us he showed us like the Ramones, the Pixies, White Stripes, Offspring, all kinds of things, and that grew into like us being our own band, because he moved. He was here temporarily. He moved to somewhere in California. He eventually went back to Michigan, and so me, Jeff, and Levi started our own thing. And from like 2000, I'm not going to go into a whole lot of detail, but that's like a whole nother story for another time. But from like 2000, I want to say 2004 to 2011, 12, I'll say 11. 2004 to 2011, we kind of just went through various band names, and slight genre changes as well. So we were doing that for like 6-7 years, and I moved temporarily. I moved for 10 months to an internship program in Pennsylvania, Morris, Pennsylvania, for youth ministry and cross-cultural experiences and things like that. And I was gone for almost a year, and then I came back, and Levi had decided to move on as well. So we're like, okay, let's pick this back up. Let's pick it up from where we started. And then we picked up Five Sellers back up, but this time Levi was gone, so we asked Ruben here if he wanted to be bass, and he did. And eventually we came to like the idea of let's Five Sellers is it's mainly it was special. It was like me, Jeff, and Levi's thing, and we wanted to keep it that way, kind of, so to speak. So we decided to change the name, so this guy would go from a fill-in to an original member if we changed the band name, which we did. And the band name stuck, and well, two of us are still here. So we're like the main dudes, I guess. the
songwriting or the whole planning.
The consistent ones, the consistent members that's never left or never been switched out, I guess you could say.
Okay, I was wondering about that. Yeah, I see like going back and looking at all your like old pictures on social media. It seems you two are kind of the more like consistent guys.
Yeah, we go even before Rei Gurren, we go way back. We go to like 2004,
3 or 2.
2 or 3, I don't know, but we went to high school together, and he was
stealing whipped cream from tables.
Yeah, yeah, going to Christmas programs and stealing whipped cream. No, yeah, but I was a band geek. And I had to stay after school a lot for band practice and all that. And this guy, for some reason, liked to stay after school for no reason and bother people.
Yeah, like, I don't know how our friendship just started. It just kind of started out of nowhere. I think it was because Wilfred
Wilford, and I think Levi too, because Levi was related to Mo and all that crap.
We just hung around, and then sometimes I'll just be doing weird stuff, like walking around to school, or just, like I was saying, stealing whipped cream from places, or running around like incoherently screaming. So like some people would be like, "Yeah, I was weird in school," but no, some people were not weird. Like
Not like him.
like this guy's got some issues or something.
We used to call him Squirrels because he wore that squirrel. What's that squirrel's name? One that talks a bunch of crap to everybody. He's always flipping the
Foamy
bird.
the squirrel.
Yeah, he's always wearing that. Anyway, yeah. Dude, we could go a lot, but no, this is like limited, so I'm trying to cut it down.
Oh no, it's okay. No, I like that. No, just good history. And then yeah. So you guys like kind of like have been the main two. How do you go about like recruiting members, or how do you like? Is it just like people in the area, or have you like? Do you just like other bands, or how do you go about like kind of bringing people into Rei Gurren?
We call them out in the middle of their set.
It was a thorough background check in it. They checked my credit and everything.
Yeah, we make sure their credit rating's like 600 or more. Make sure they have a Guitar Center card. No, actually, we've never gone out and like asked people to join. We've kind of been blessed in that way, where like they were just already hanging around.
Yeah, because we never put like, "Hey, we need somebody to fill in," or "Hey, I need a guitar player," or anything like that. We just kind of like, all right, let's just see what happens first, because we're just too lazy or we're like too busy. Because our own lives are just busy itself.
And they were like, whatever happens, happens, I guess.
Yeah, take that Cowboy Bebop motto. But I don't know. It's just things just kind of happen, fall in place for us sometimes, and we're not even doing anything. It's just like how most of our music just tends to go out somewhere. We're just like, huh, that's weird. Or like people were just wanting to fill in or jump on, because we put on our own shows a couple of times, and one of them we used to call Hometown Zero, which is one of our new songs too. And we had a festival named that. And then we had this one guy who wanted to jump on the guitar, and we're like, yeah, sure, see how this sounds, because we always wanted to see how another guitar player sound, and he didn't know any chords besides open 3 and 5, which was like, oh god, this is embarrassing.
That was like so cringe. I'm like, dude, you just like lied your way into the band.
But besides the lie and all that stuff, it was fun just to hang around.
He was a cool dude. He was kind of missed the guy, but
it's just the way things just kind of happen, and you tend to lose interest, or they just tend to fall out. So that's kind of what happened.
Yeah,
and we used to have another guitar player, but him and the other dude kind of started their own band with Now or Never, which tend to let them be who they are, and they want to do their own thing. So it's like, yeah, sure, go for it. But the way we wanted to do things was kind of like 4-chord, but then adding some flair to it.
Yeah. So the earliest formation of the band, was you guys like sound similar to now, or did you guys go through some evolution?
Oh, dude, we changed a lot, man. And it's an understanding now why people like bands, they change, and people like, oh, I like their earlier stuff because they sound so different. Like you have to change.
It's evolution.
It's kind of I don't know. It's like I can go back and write something similar to like Twilight Princess or something like that, but it's just like it's gonna feel like it's not good enough, because we've grown so much, and we've moved forward so far that like all that is like, I don't want to say beginner stuff, but more like kickstarting, getting off the ground kind of thing. But I mean, we can, and we probably will again eventually. I mean, we have. I mean, Quiet. The song "Quiet" is pretty simple.
Monster Zero is like really.
Oh yeah, Monster Zero is very.
Wrote that in like one evening, like in a few hours.
Yeah, it's like 3 chords. That's about it. But, yeah. I kind of forgot the question.
Oh yeah, no, I was just talking about like how you changed over time, and.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like not just our songwriting style has changed. We've actually dipped into like a little bit of thrash, a little bit, as you saw, with our song Hookshot. And we have like 2 other songs that we probably totally forgot by now. Because Randall from Rancid Savage was like, I asked him if we could jump on his metal fest, and he was like, "Can you guys be really heavy?" I'm like, probably. Try. And we did, and we bombed it, but we had fun.
Actually, 2 of the songs bombed themselves, and they were just like, well, we tried with it, experimentation. But one of them was just so like catchy and
Hookshot stuck.
Yeah, so it just stayed with us. But what was more funny is when we played that metal fest, everyone was just kind of like grooving, like, "Oh, new band, must be new," and they're like, "All right, enough with the metal stuff. Let's just go right back into punk songs." And everyone got really excited again. And
like, "Oh, that's not them, that's them."
Yeah, it was funny because we were just talking about it, and it's like we're just playing like something we never tried, dipped our toes in, and then we're going back to something we did, and then we're like, "Oh man, see how this works." And then now Hookshot kind of stayed, so we wrote actually another song like that, just to see how it's gonna be. We probably might be debuting it too.
D.R.I. probably.
The D.R.I. show coming up
Very soon.
Yeah, that's May 23rd, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I'll make sure this comes out before that. Yeah.
And then I don't know how this. It was just kind of funny because when we played at Metal Fest, I think it was like you have this legendary deathcore band, Suicide Science, that's headlining, and all these metal bands and metal acts coming around who could probably like wipe the floor with us, and here we're just this little punk band on there. Like, yeah, we got on here, and people were just like, "How'd you guys get on there?" And like, I don't know. we just got on.
I'm sorry, good.
But I don't know. I don't mind playing stuff like that. It's just fun for me because we usually play metal shows a lot now too, and like we played in front of like War Motor or Mutilate Tyrant and like all these good metal bands like Born in Winter, Aryajis. And man, it's kind of funny because we became really close friends with them, and they're always like, "Yeah, I wanted to hear that song tonight," or "You guys gonna play this tonight?" And it's kind of funny because like you guys are like a better metal band than us. You want to hear us? It's kind of funny. I mean, like nothing weird about that. It was just like it's kind of cool that you guys like us, and we're just dumb idiots on stage playing around, having fun.
And then always at the metal shows, like you always have like those few people in the crowd, like naming our songs, like play this. I'm like, oh, you know what? Maybe next set. Like, it's pretty cool. I mean, when I first joined the band, I mean, it was a new journey for me. So it was really cool, and I get to like enjoy it with these guys. And like I was saying, I was like, yeah, it's like we get to play these metal like shows too, but it's also pretty cool. Like all these metal fans, like they know our songs and they'll yell them out, like we want to hear this song or play this song, and it's really cool.
Yeah. How did you get started on with Rei Gurren and you're the drummer, I believe, right?
Oh yeah, I'm the drummer.
Yeah.
It's funny, man. I've always haven't been blind. I lost my vision about 6 years ago. And I used to play in a couple other bands. When I first started out, I used to play in a band called Carnage with Ed Yazzie and his brother Eric Yazzie. And I believe they used to have a older drummer, Testify's drummer. I think Edmund Yazzie used to play with them. Shout out Testify, cool guys. But yeah, so I used to play with them, and we were used to playing like Slayer, Metallica, and stuff. And I actually got to join Signal 99 for a while, and that was really fun. I got to play with Chuck and his late brother Henry. And but when I first came into Rei Gurren, it was back about 2018.
Early 18, I think.
Like 2000, early 18, and at the time I was actually in Alamogordo, New Mexico. I was at the orientation center for the visually impaired and blind. So I lost my vision, and I was doing blind training, like learning how to read again, read Braille, use technology, typing, cane traveling, everything that a blind person would need. So it was pretty cool. And then I got this message in my messenger. You know, it's like, hey, it's like, these guys are looking for a band. You know, it's like you guys can, you know. I told them that you used to play for Carnage and Signal 99, and that's when I sent Ray a message. I was like, hey man, I heard you guys are looking for a drummer. So I sent him a video back when I was playing with Signal, and I think we opened up for Mushroom Head back in like the early 2013 at the old Juggernaut here in Gallup, and then at that time I was just being in contact with Ray, and I was in down south in the southern part of New Mexico, and so he gave me like 3 songs to learn at the time. So that's why I think I really enjoy playing those songs. So I played Lost Woods, Twilight Princess, and another song, Saber. So he gave me those 3 songs to like kind of listen and kind of. I was like, I really like this new tune. So I was actually coming back for like a weekend. So you know, it takes like 5 hours from Alamogordo back to Gallup, and so I was telling him, like, yeah, dude, I can come down to St. Michael's where we're at now at Ruben's place, and
That's right.
yeah, so I took the 5-hour trip back to Gallup from Alamogordo that same day, and my dad and my daughter, like, they met me in Gallup, and they bring my drum set, and I just jumped. I basically just switched vehicles, and we came out here, set up my drum set. I was like, nobody was talking to each other. We're just like okay, like, yeah. I was like, you know, blind drummer. I was like, see what happens, and right away, you know, it just automatically clicked, and you know, we went through the songs. We're like, okay, you know, I don't know. It was just that chemistry that kind of clicked, and I just kind of just like, all right, you know, I was like, I'm going back to Alamogordo next couple of days, so we just stayed in contact, and basically until after I came back, then we started doing shows. I just kind of just, you know, like, just basically just didn't leave.
Yeah,
But-
it's interestingly enough, it's actually in this very room where we auditioned him. Like,
Yeah.
right where you're sitting.
Cool.
Yeah, so it's kind of funny because, like, you know, like people would see me at shows, like I'm walking around like a blind individual with a cane and everything. They're like, they never expect anything, but you know, like, since you've seen us at the El Moro, you know, I have like my own little logo thing that I do with Rei Gurren shows. Like, they're always asking me, like, what does the X represent and stuff. I was like, it could mean anything. You know, I guess it would just be up to anybody's imagination. But for me, like, you know, I can't see, so I wear sleep shades when I play. Because of my eye condition, I'm like really sensitive to light, and some of like strobe lights and stuff will like start bugging me when I'm playing, then it'll like throw me off. So I wear blackout shades when I play, and I have my eyes crossed out. So that's like the whole logo thing for like the Rei Gurren thing, and yeah, it's just pretty cool, and like nobody expects me to go up there and play until I walk onto the stage, and they're like, "Oh shoot, dude!" I was like, "That guy's gonna play." I was like, "You guys have a blind drummer?" I was like, "Yeah."
Yeah, I think the first year when we first had Bryant on, people were just like, "What's that guy doing?" And then they see him on stage, and he starts playing, and like, "Is your drummer really blind?" Like, "Yeah, he's blind. He's legally blind." And then they freak out, like, "How's he do it? It must be muscle memory." It's like, "Yeah, he's got it down." I was like, which is really crazy, because it's like, it's kind of like how like the drummer from Def Leppard only has one arm. He had to reteach himself how to play, and Brian's got like basically no vision, and he has to learn how to play with everything. So it's like, that's pretty cool. I mean, if someone can, you know, with disabilities like that, can play instruments still, you know, that should at least inspire somebody, you know, out there. Like, your disability shouldn't hold you back, or anything like that, which is pretty cool. Because most of our music is tend to, like, the best way I could put it is like, our music is not just anime based or Godzilla based. It's like, it has a medium. Like, some of our songs delve in like mental health, or things that are going on in your life, or things that are like struggles, and basically, I guess you could say. Because some people tend to think like our music is just only that. Like, Twilight Princess is like a song based on trying to find purpose in life, or Saber is like you know, our little dedication to people who we lost throughout their years. Lost Woods, probably the same thing, like going through some dark, heavy stuff and just trying to look for the little light in your life, trying to get out of it, but using music as the help, trying to...
It's kind of the soundtrack to all your problems.
Yeah.
It goes a lot deeper than like, you know, just past all the anime stuff. And I think it depends on like who you talk to. You know, like each person that comes up to you can have like a different meaning of, you know, what Lost Woods might mean, or Hometown Zero, or, you know, like an Untouchable Queen, you know, like based on like off of those lyrics. I was like, each individual will have their own like, oh man, it's like this song reminds me of this, or
interpretation.
Yeah. So I mean, it's really cool like when they'll come up and tell you, it's like, oh dude, I was like, this song helped me through this, and you know, like for me, like Hometown Zero, it could be based off of anything. And for me, like I lost my mother about 2 years ago, in 21, I'm sorry. And Hometown Zero was like, it's really special to me because it can mean like many different things. But for me, it was just like coming home, going through the struggles of blind training, losing your vision, and having to deal with the struggles of everyday life. You know, I mean, it kind of pushes you a lot further than, you know, it kind of makes you really think like, okay, you know, I can't see. But then again, I was like, there's always somebody out there that has a little bit harder than you. And I think that's like people over, like they don't realize that sometimes. And like they complain about like so many like simple things, man. I was like, dude, I was like, okay. I was like, you know what? I was like, we put some sleep shades on you. I was like, you'll walk with me. They're like, they tend to freak out. Like, I can't see you. I was like, that's my vision there. And, you know, like for me, Hometown Zero, this means so much because I accomplished so much, like through my blind training and getting over like that difficulties and stuff. And after I finished my blind training, you know, I came home, and that's when we started writing Hometown Zero. So that means a lot to me. So I dedicate that song all the time to my mother.
Yeah, well, that's really it's amazing. I mean, like I mainly listen to like metal and stuff. I got into like new metal, but yeah, I listen to you guys' music. It's, to me, it just sounds more like uplifting and not so like, you know, depressive and suicidal. Like,
I think that's the reason why we don't get picked for most punk shows. Because we're not like that.
Yeah, it's very, very energetic and upbeat, uplifting, like, to me.
Yeah, it's kind of like that. That's how we try to put it. Because like Brian was saying too, like a lot of us have our own little things that we go through. Like Ray has his own things like with anxiety or, you know, social things going on, and like I'm kind of like that. I have like so many messed up things in my life that I was just kind of like, wow, I'm still here again. Like I used to have like really bad suicidal tendencies, or I used to really like self-mutilate myself, and like I don't remember the last time really doing any stuff like that ever since I've been doing the band, and that's pretty much how I'm trying to like keep myself focused. Because like, you know, I try to always use music as like a healing or like a medicine for myself. Because everything throughout my whole life I use music for. So like even meeting some of my favorite like artists, like I met so many bands in my life. Like I got to hang out and meet Slipknot or Wayne Static before he passed. Like one of the biggest bands that was really inspired me a lot and motivated me was probably American Head Charge. And two of the members I got to meet was Chad and Cameron. And they were pretty cool. I got to hang out with them, chat with them, because I bought like $300 worth of merch, which is something I don't advise. But you know, if you're a really diehard fan, like, you know, someone like me, yeah, you would do that. But I remember doing that, and the merch dude was just like, "Man, you must really love this band." I was like, "Yeah, man. It's like I grew up on these guys in the early 2000s." And he's like, I gotta get the guys, and he brought them out, and he was telling us like, yeah, this dude bought this much, and I got to hang out with Chad, and I just told him like, yeah, your music kind of got me through some really hard shit, man, and some, oh, sorry for swearing, pardon my French, But
It's okay. Yeah.
Part of your Navajo.
part of my Navajo. My inner John came out. But yeah, I just told him like how much his music meant to me, and how much like I gone through stuff, and how I was pretty much like a loser in high school and life, and not really got anywhere. Still not got anywhere in my life. Just kind of like enjoying every day like it's my last, but being lazy too. But yeah, I got to tell him so much stuff, and he was really cool. We got to chat for almost like an hour before they had to leave, and it wasn't until like a year or two that he passed away.
Oh, no.
And that kind of hit me, kind of like how something like that, meeting someone so cool could just be ripped from you. But yeah, it's just kind of like I like to hang out so much with people now. When we go to shows and meeting them and chatting with them, and they tell us all these things, like their own little struggles and whatnot. It's just kind of like, I don't know if I'm doing anything to help them or doing anything to like, push them in the right direction. But when they tell you like all these deep things and like, yeah, your music got me through this, it's kind of like, whoa, I don't think that could ever like happen to me, because I was pretty much a nobody in my life. So hearing somebody like say that, it's like, wow, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, because like my own family doesn't really care what I do. They're just like, yeah, just let this loser do whatever he wants, and he's not winning trophies or making money. He's just doing music. But hearing stuff like that, is I could take that one compliment more than anything else, because I don't know. It's just kind of, it's interesting to me. But at the same time, it's like, I think me and Ray had this discussion before too. Like, people come up to us and tell us like, "Oh, you guys are really good. You guys are really amazing. You can shred on guitar. You can do all this." It's like, and me and him would just stand there like, "Oh, thanks." And we're not being asses or douches or anything. It's just that in our own life, we've never been complimented on anything or got like praise for anything besides like older siblings getting all the glory, and you're just like this little dipshit who can't do anything. And then hearing like something like that is completely alien to us. Yeah. And we're just like, wow, that's interesting. Somebody actually likes us.
Yeah. That was last week. We were actually talking about that last week, and I was telling him that a psychologist friend of mine once told me that because I used to perform, well, not perform, but I used to do like these worship songs and stuff at teen church groups and stuff on Monday nights, and I used to do some songs on acoustic, and afterward they were like, "Oh, you're really good. Your voice is really developing, and you sound great," and all this stuff. And I'm like, "No, it's not." And then like I would say that so much, and I would say that a lot, and my friend was like, "Your issue is that you don't know how to take a compliment." And he was like, "I don't mean that," and in a jerk kind of way. It's kind of like an anxiety thing. It's kind of like, I forgot how he said it. It was like so long ago, but he was like, you don't know how to take a compliment, just like how some people don't know how to take a joke or whatever. But he was like, just keep in mind that it's no one's meaning any harm when they're complimenting you. It's they're being respectful, and so just try to say thank you and accept it, even though it's really hard for you to. So yeah, that's what we go through. Yeah. But we gladly take it though. Like, don't be scared just because we said that.
And don't be scared of me, like when they see you. I was like, "Here comes a blind guy coming."
I want to backtrack a little bit about him joining the band and all that. Yeah, I did. I'm surprised that he even remembered what songs I sent him, because I don't remember. Dude, I don't even remember a whole lot. I don't even remember the songs I played last night. No, but yeah, we sent Bryant like 3. I sent Bryant like 3 songs, and he came back and he was like, "Oh, dude," he was like, "I have a problem." I was like, "What?" He was like, I thought he was gonna say something really serious, like I have some kind of allegation against me, or I have a drug problem. I thought he was gonna say something like that.
Like, I don't like punk music.
Yeah, I thought it was gonna be something really bad. I was like, what? And he was like, I'm blind. I was like, oh, that's it? I'm like I didn't mean it like that, but like, I was like, oh, okay, well, oh, I can't say that's cool. But I was like, yeah, well, okay, well, I'm not gonna like dismiss you because of that. Just let's jam out. And not only did he learn these like 3 songs, but we learned like 4 more that day, 4 different ones. And me and Ruben were like, man, this dude got on quick, man. Like, holy cow!
Like we're saying, like, dang, he's dedicated. He drove that far.
Yeah, and then we ended up walking out of this room with like 7. He learned like 7. Well, he had already learned 3, but he walked out with like 4 or 5 more. I don't really remember.
Yeah, it was so funny because like after like those 3 songs and stuff, and Ray was like, "Yeah, dude," I was like, "We got like maybe like a show coming up," and Ruben was like. I was like, you didn't even ask him if he wants to join yet. It was like, we're already like making plans and everything. It's like,
hey, the excitement. It was the excitement.
Yeah, it was exciting because it just sounded good. We're like, dang, it just clicked on. And I was having fun back there. And we were all just throwing stuff together. And, it was just, it was really cool. I mean, I never played like this type of music. I was always so used to playing like a lot of Slayer, Gore, Pantera stuff and Metallica, Megadeth, playing that from drummers, like just basically just like being inspired by them, but playing punk music was really new to me, so it was really cool.
Yeah, what's the biggest difference you notice between playing like fast like thrash metal to punk?
I guess it's not really that much of a difference, but I know that like with our type of music, I would have to kind of really pay attention because. Like I tell, like most people, I tell them, like, how do you study the songs? How do you learn this? I was like, I break everything down to pieces. With metal songs, they're pretty, like anybody who listens to them, like all the time, they automatically know where the change-ups are. Punk music it's a little bit different where, like Ray was saying, like he'll like change up the chords. I mean, it could be the same chord, but, at a different pitch. So it would kind of throw me off like that, and like I was like, "Did you just play that?" I was like, no, that's like the verse part. And I was like, "Let's play the interlude." I was like, "Which part is that?" Yeah, it's like the same thing. Like, but like that's what I learned from it. It's just like, it could kind of be like the same thing, but it's like really like more difficult for me sometimes because I use more of my hearing to listen to it and. I can't like look at his fingers and like see where the change-ups are or hand signals like like some people do sometimes what I used to use a long time, but it was just it's just really different for me, and it's like it took me a while to adapt to what they're playing, and now it's just kind of like, oh man, dude, I was like that's pretty fast. It's like I can't when I first joined it was just like a whole new tempo, like all the way through the whole song was like that. Where like in some metal songs you have your breakdown points and your stops and like little breathers here and there, but it's kind of like a continuous beat and it would just keep going.
Yeah, no, that's yeah. I figured that maybe I was thinking maybe the transition would be more rhythm. I'm guessing like with like metal, it seems like there's hardly any like prolonged rhythm sections. I feel like there's just a constant like changes in tempo and breakdowns and like I don't know. I feel like with punk, it kind of like the rhythm seems more consistent like throughout the song. But I don't know. I'm not a musician, by the way.
What's kind of funny too is like all 3 of us probably listen more metal than anyone. Well, not like anyone out there, but just like. We're all listening to metal, but we're playing punk music, which is kind of funny because it's like you expect like a punk band to only listen to nothing but punk, but then like some other bands like that too. Like some bands are probably like influenced by thrash, or they're just listening to thrash, or like death metal is only death metal, like straight 2 to the core or cult or whatever you guys say. I'm old. But yeah, it's just like we listen to like different genres too. Like my genre and taste in music is just like insanely everywhere. Like I'll listen to this like extreme like dark death metal, like like I don't know, just like some weird crazy stuff. Like like I listened to a band called Last of Humanity, and it's just like you can't even tell what the guy is saying. It's just like the whole album cover is just like dead bodies and all these things, or the vocals are just like extreme. But then later on, I'm listening to like really high like Japanese pop or something really soft, or I'll be listening to like new wave or like dance, because like my girlfriend listens to like gothic kind of style music or dance, and I'll be sitting there just jamming along with it too. But then Ray will be listening to stuff like he shows me like new bands up and coming, especially like when it's like these new bands I never even heard of. He goes, yeah, check out this band. They're like they dress in cheerleaders and they're going crazy. I was like, oh man, it's weird but cool. And then Bryant's like old school too, like Camel Corpse and stuff like that. And I'm like, yeah,
a lot of like Vital Remains and stuff like Vader. Like I'll be listening to a lot of stuff like that, or like Job for a Cowboy. You know, like I just put like anything on. I'll be all jamming out to those, and then because like I think I'm the only one in the band that has kids. So I'll be jamming out to that. The next, you know, like switches over to Baby Shark. I was like, "Let's go, Baby Shark!" You know, you know, like, yeah, you know, it's like, but you know, like it's pretty cool. I mean, like, you know, we never we don't sit on just one like genre type of music. Like what Ruben was saying, like I'll be listening to like a bunch of stuff like Cannibal Corpse and switching back and forth and listening to like I don't know, maybe like Celine Dion or something. But,
jumping from Slipknot to like Johnny Horton or Johnny Cash.
Yeah, like Johnny Cash, like stuff like that, man.
Or they'll just see us sitting there just jamming out to some Eddie Murphy and be like, yeah, the next note comes on, it's like Devourment, like, oh, Jesus Christ. And then we'll just be like, yeah, this is a normal day for us. It's just like, I don't know, it's just, I think because we listen to so much music, it's just kind of like, gives us ideas what to write or like what to try out. Because now, like, I haven't really delved too much into it, but I've been trying to learn how to like use slap on my bass. I never done it live, but I've been trying it out and trying out all these like different styles of how people like play their bass on stage. And I'm just like, I want to see if I can try to incorporate this into our music. But then sometimes it'll work, sometimes it doesn't, which is the reason why I like kind of just sit there in my room and just play with my bass. That's actually how I kind of started playing, because when Ray was telling like earlier, saying during the whole beginning back in 2012, he's like, you're gonna be our bass player. I'm like, oh crap. So I sat in my room just like listening to their songs, just like, I don't know the song, so I'm just gonna sit here and try to see what it sounds like. And then the first day we practiced, it was like, what you want to play first? And then I played like one of the most popular songs. Like, can you really play that? It's like, yeah, I can play it. And sure enough, it was like, all right. Then like a month down the line, we wrote 8 new songs, which is kind of weird. I'm not sure if I'm like, to this day, I still don't know if I'm even good. I'm just playing on stage, just whatever I think sounds good.
Oh yeah, I was gonna mention something you guys like mentioned about like not really accepting compliments. I was gonna mention sometimes I run into that too. There's like something called like imposter syndrome where like it's hard to accept like your accomplishments, and then like you accomplish it, but then in your mind you're like saying like, well, I only did it because of this, or you know, there's like
it's not that big of a deal.
Yeah, like your mind is like kind of like telling you otherwise what you actually accomplished. I run into that a lot too, but yeah, it's I don't know, you just have to like,
it's hard.
Yeah, accept it, like, you know, you accomplished it, and you know, like just try to be proud of that and like build off of that.
I'm like that because like, you know, like a lot of people don't know, like, you know, like if they ever see me like at a live shows, it's very rare that like I'm usually inside the venue, you know, because I'm always outside, or you know, I'm just kind of like, you know, I'm not like a social person sometimes. Like I'm pretty quiet, like in the van. But you know, like what these guys are talking about, you know, like dealing with compliments and stuff, you know, and me being, you know, visually impaired and being blind, you know, like dealing with people like so rude, man. You know, like I deal with people like that. You know, they'll walk up, wave their hands in my face, like, "Can you see this?" I was like, "No, I see you waving your hand in my face." You know, I was like,
yeah,
but
Richie,
I can smell you now.
but you know, like stuff like that. I mean, like you know, I take, you know, I'm okay like with criticism and stuff like that, but you know, like people are just like they look at other people that have like disability as being like slow or something. I was like, you know what, dude? I was like, dude, I was like, half the stuff that you probably can do, I was like, I can probably do. I just put a little bit more effort into it. You know, I was like, I'm not like, you know, I'm visually impaired, but you know, I'm a lot smarter than like people think and stuff like that. And that's what, you know, trips people out. Sometimes they're like, oh, what are you doing? You know, like I'm doing this and doing that. You know, my phone talks like 100 miles an hour. They're like, I can't even understand that. And I was like, oh, it's like, well, you know, I just have really good hearing sometimes. But yeah, like what Rae and Rueben are saying, like taking compliments, and it's just like, you know, it's very rare for me like to be like hanging out like inside the venue or outside, because, you know, like you see like these other drummers that come in like from like awesome bands, and I'm just like, I'm so intimidated by them. And you know, I'm like, dude, I was like, man, he's going like 90 miles an hour, so I can't do that, you know. But you know, it's just like, well, I'll just do what I can and play like the best that I can. Then I meet people afterwards. I'm like, dude, I was like, that was really cool. And I'm like, okay. I was like, I was like, I messed up right there though. But it's all right.
Yeah. No, I think everyone kind of deals with their, I don't know, like just accepting, yeah, like, and being able to accept feedback. I mean, I feel like I can accept feedback, but I don't. Yeah, like I like agree with you. If I do something right and someone compliments me, I'm just like, it was okay. It wasn't the best, but
Yeah, because we have friends from Flagstaff, and like our buddies from our homies, basically from Vacant Skies, they're always giving us compliments and always like, man, you guys are fucking killer. You guys are awesome. And we're just like, do they know who they're talking to? We're just like a bunch of chubby Navajos from the res, and these dudes are like, man, you guys rock, and all these things. And they say all these compliments. It's like, man, you guys make us blush, but at the same time, it's like, are we really that good? And yeah, but sometimes now we're kind of like understanding it a little. Like, I guess we kind of are, but we're not really like thrown out there like, yeah, we are good, and throw all this nonsense around. So, like,
Yeah, like after even after all these years, ever since I joined the band, I was like, we never thought that we were ever better than anybody. We never think of anything like that. You know, we treat everybody exactly the same way, on and off the stage. You know, like even now, like we still consider ourselves underdogs. You know, and you know we just do the best that we can when we get on stage.
we're just worms. We're not worthy.
Yeah,
But
that goes back to that whole, you know, like, to our friends in Flagstaff. Like I don't know about these guys, but I just struggle a lot with like my self-image, and like, cause like I see myself in pictures and I see myself in videos, and I'm like, man, I am fat. You know, like I am big. Like, holy cow! Like, and I don't like it. Like it bothers me. It bothers me a lot. And, like that's why I don't like people taking pictures of me and stuff. Like that last Wicked show. At the end of the show, after everyone left, everyone got together on stage for a big group photo, and I was like, "Yeah, I'm out of here. I'm not taking a photo."
And I think I was facing the wrong way. So.
Yeah, and then with that being said, I'm like, you know, those guys in Vacant Skies, they are, you know, they're giving us all these compliments. They're like, "Man, it's like awesome," and you know, I'm like, you know, like, and then I'm like, for a while, like, I thought they were making fun of us. You know, I thought they were being sarcastic. Because I didn't really know Larry that much at the time. I knew Jade because he was in a band called The Blurs and Grim. Yeah, the other guys I didn't know. And I thought they were making fun of us. I'm like, oh man, well, whatever. And it didn't help. They gave us underwears with like our name on it, with our band name on it. Yeah, I for a long time I legitimately thought they were making fun of us, but as you know, as time passed on, went on, they were sincere about it. I'm like, why? Like we're just like these ugly Navajo dudes from over there in the desert, and like, why are you giving us these compliments? Like, you guys are like so much better than us. You guys sound like freaking AFI for Pete's sake. And they do, which is cool. I call Larry Havoc, and he's like, no, I'm not. Yeah, that's right, Larry. I'm talking about you. Yeah, but thankfully it turned out to be sincere compliments and not them making fun of us. Because that's just how we grew up. Yeah, I mean, I don't know how Bryant grew up because we didn't go to school with him. But like I said before, he and I, Ruben and I, went to high school together, and like we were like I was consistently made fun of a lot, especially by jocks. They made fun of me a lot because like I grew up. I'm just gonna say it. Like I grew up poor. Like that's just the truth. I had no electricity. I had no running water. I wore secondhand clothes from the flea market. Even my toys were from the flea market. Like I did what I could to take care of myself, but I wasn't really good enough, and I got made fun of a lot. And now that I'm older, I'm like, I don't know if people are being sincere when they compliment me, or if they're just feeling sorry for me, or I don't know. So it's really hard to get a compliment, especially being in a band, and like I don't know. And then yeah.
Yeah, because sometimes
That's all to say about that.
we'll see bands and they'll be playing, and then they'll just blow us out of water and tell us like, man, you guys are good. And there's been a couple of times where they have like the big headness, I guess you could. I don't know what it is. Big headedness. Egos. Yeah. And like you guys are good. And like, yes, we are good. Like, oh, okay. It's like, I guess you guys don't make mistakes. Worship the ground I walk on. But then I also meet like a lot of good bands too. That there's been like they've been really cool with us. Like
Really generous.
yeah, like Heart Museum, Penguins. Man, those guys were just like really tight, and they're always like complimenting us. War Motor.
They call us legends. I'm like, who are you talking
Brothers
to,
and sisters.
Yeah.
Hashtag War Motor.
And that's what I really love about like, what we've been doing through all these years. We met so many people, and we became really close friends. Yeah, Phil Corruption, our boys.
Skyler, he's always helping me on and off the stage sometimes.
Darren's always cool. Like everybody, we know a lot of people like throughout the years. Like Death Mantra Mommies and like so many bands we met through our whole lives.
Pretty much every band that you've interviewed.
Yeah, like most of them were on there. We're just like, hey, look, these guys are on there. And like, there's these new bands that have been coming out, like Hellthrone and like, a couple other ones that have been just like starting out these new things. And it's like, man, that's cool. There's new bands coming out because I really love finding new bands, especially bands that never played a show before. Or bands that were just like out in the boonies. Like there was this one band I got to really check out and hang out with them. They were called like Rain and Chaos, I believe. And they're just like really cool, down to earth dudes, and we got to chat with them. Another one too, we played at I think it was like some punk electronic festival in Shiprock a couple years ago. They were called Bat Vomit. I don't think they last that long, but they might still be around. But man, I got to chat with them for a bit, and they're really cool. And I still have their sticker on my van, which is kind of funny because
they're just kids too.
Yeah, like
Mid-teen.
what I like about finding these new bands is if they have merch, I throw it on my van. I have stickers from a lot of bands on there, or people we got to meet and hang out with. Like there's this one band that we got to hang out with. They were really cool with us. They really like complimented us, and it just made me feel all jiggly. It was like this band called 2-Bit Johnnies.
Oh yeah, they were cool.
They were really cool with us, and this other one, like, because when we play a show out and about somewhere, and we tend to like look at the lineup, and we'll check them out, and sometimes we'll see a band like, oh man, do you think these guys are gonna like us, or they're gonna diss us, or they're gonna make fun of us?
I'll probably not talk to us in general.
Or yeah, like there's this one band called Hostile Fate. It's kind of like a hardcore band. Man, they liked us too, and it was like, man, you guys, I don't know. I like the fact that we've been playing with so many cool people that they just kind of show us a respect again too, which is interesting. Because that's what I like about playing these shows is just meeting out with people too. Because sometimes we play like these big festival shows, like Spec Fest. I always love playing Spec Fest when they used to have it. Hopefully they'll have it again sometime soon. But there'll be like 10, 12 bands on there. I know, like maybe War Motor, Obsolete, Born a Winner, and then when we all get together, it's like a big family reunion. So it's like, man, I get to see my bros, get to see everybody, get to hang out, or find somebody new. That's why we like some of these shows, or especially like local shows too. Last local show we did was we actually just call it just a regular show. Man, a lot of people turned out, a lot.
It was a good turnout.
Yeah, there's even some new bands I've been checking out too. Like they're really interesting. They got good style, got good music. Like I think last year we were supposed to play a show, but Bryant had an accident and he couldn't play. And we were trying to look for a drummer, but we're just like, well, we'll just sell gear, sell whatever. So our buddies from Born and Raised played, but there's this other band I never really got to check out, and I saw them play. And they're called Scarlet Night. Man, their music was just like mesmerizing. I was just sitting there, just like, man, these guys got some good stuff. I love his lyrics, love his voice, guitar, and everything. It's just like, man, I like finding new bands like these because I'm always on a quest, just looking for new music. So when I hear something new, it's just like gets me all giddy.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I have like just a ridiculous amount of CDs. Like I need to like have like a garage sale or something. But yeah, what I do is I just like go to like a local show, and if I got you guys a CD here too. Like yeah, I like to get the CD just because just because I grew up like in the late '90s, early 2000s, probably.
It was the best time to grow up.
Yeah, and it was all about CDs and like having the CD booklet and the CD storage case.
Yeah, physical merch is probably like the best merch you can ever
Yeah,
get.
because like I don't know.
Autographs from the actual bands that has something on it.
Yeah, because
Ray always teases me like, yeah, you can get Rae and Ruben's like autograph, but it'd be rare if you get Bryant's. It's like a rare Pokemon card thing.
Yeah, it's like I don't mean this, I'm not trying to sound like all prideful and ego and all that, but like it does happen. It doesn't happen often, but it does happen when people ask us, will ask us like sign stuff, and they're like, "Where's your drummer? Where's your drummer at?" He's I just need his signature. I'm like, more than likely he's gone.
Yeah,
Probably
I don't hang around that much, just.
And oftentimes you have your family with you.
Yeah, I usually have my daughter that helps me, or because it's really hard for me to have drivers sometimes, and especially if we do like a lot of shows where, it takes like if we go to Flagstaff's like 3 hours back, I'm like, I'm not gonna put who's ever helping me drive back through that much pressure, and plus my kids have like school the next day, so usually sometimes like half the time I would leave, or I'll be either that, or if I'm hanging out there, I'm usually outside of the venue, or if there's like a band that I want to check out, like our, like our friends from other local bands, like, yeah, dude, I'm gonna go check out their set, and then we'll leave after that. But like anybody that has kids, they get restless. Like, all right, man, I'm gonna take out, dude. I was like, kids are getting tired. Yeah, so that's why Ray's always, he was like, yeah, dude, it's like it'll be rare, dude. It's like if you can get like Brian's signature, it's like a rare Pokemon thing.
Proud.
yeah, I think the only time we ever have to like really take off after a show is because of job duties. Which kind of sucks because sometimes I don't like working in the morning because I'm the only one that drives the van because I can only handle my van, and the steering sucks on it. So whatever. Anyways, sometimes the only time we'll ever take off after a show, and I don't like doing that. It's like, oh man,
it feels cheap.
Yeah,
it feels cheap because just real quick, it's like we bust our butts off in here or somewhere like hours on end. And people like I'm not calling out anybody. I'm not going to say who or anybody in particular, but like it kind of not you. It kind of sucks. It kind of sucks when a band just plays and they leave. I'm going to say that, and I'm going to be completely honest about that. Like if you do that, that kind of sucks. To be honest, it's like, okay, like I get it, like.
Jobs,
like you have responsibilities, you have a job, you have family, but if you got nothing else going on, it's like, and then you just leave right after for no reason. I'm like, why not stay? Enjoy the show. We're here. We work our hands to the bones for the music we write, and we travel hours, and we spend hundreds of dollars getting there, and more than likely not getting anything back financially. And and all we ask is like 25, 30 minutes of your attention just to show you what we have, and like it just sucks when like bands do that. They just like they leave right after they play. I'm like, well, we probably missed out on a friend because they just bailed. But
yeah, because that's how we actually grow a lot of connections. Is because we got to hang out with like that. But during the early times, we used to always do that because my job would never give a shit. Like especially like telling your boss like, hey, I got a show this week. I need day times off. And they're like, all right, I'll give you a day off. And then you look at your schedule and like, man, I'm working at 6 a.m. again. So there was a couple times like we'll play Phoenix, and then as soon as we're done, we're like, all right, we can hang out 10 minutes, but then we gotta go, and then we'll try to sell as much stuff we can, get $20, and then like, all right, guys, we're going. Then we're driving 5 hours back here.
Oh yeah, it's brutal.
Then I dropped these guys off. There was a couple times I've done that where I dropped everybody off, come back home, drop my girlfriend off, change my pants. I'm like, all right, I'm going to work, and then work another 8 hours. Just like, all right, you just got 5 hours left, and then as soon as I get off, they're like, oh yeah, you can take the day off tomorrow. Like, asshole, you could have done that for me today. But yeah, there's times where like we just had to do that, and it sucks. If other bands do that, like, I can understand job, sucks and everything. But just to like, yeah, I'm tired, I want to go home, or just don't want to hang out. It kind of sucks because you build connections that way, and you build like new friendships with that way. Also, like our friends from Fatal Corruption, man, those guys would just stay and hang out and jam out and go all crazy with us. And
they're funny.
Yeah, they're funny too. And like we always play shows with each other sometimes. And I used to let them loan them our gear. I was like, hey, you guys want to use my gear? And then they would like, hell yeah, we'll use it. And then next thing you know, they're just jamming out with us. Or like other bands like too, like Condemn the World or any other bands like that. But man, it kind of sucks. Just kind of like a band will play and they're like, all right, I'm out. And then they just take off. And the next day you're like, oh yeah, thanks to all these bands. But it's like, dude, you didn't stay. At least stay 10, 20 minutes, at least for, check out some bands. You might like it. You might check out somebody. You might.
And I'm pretty sure the touring band would appreciate it.
Yeah, because we played with a lot of crazy bands too. And I think the one that kind of sucked too was we played with this one band and nobody showed up. And they were on tour. And it felt really bad because, like, yeah, we tried pushing it and nobody wanted to come out. And this is, I think, the time when local shows was going through a dry spell. And there'll be almost nobody at shows anymore. You promote.
It's like nobody even showed up for Unearthed.
Yeah, it's like only 18 people showed up, and then and then it's like, yeah, they're gonna play, and then they got off. But then some people are like, oh yeah, I forgot about that. But then it's like, yeah, I got to hang out with the band, I got pictures, I got to hang out and chat with them. And then they're like, oh man, I missed it. And it's like, dude, I don't know. It's just weird. Just interesting.
Or you like meet some of those people that are like, yeah, dude, I'll come check out your set, and they're like, oh yeah, dude, I was like, I forgot that you guys were playing that night or something like that. It's fine, dude. But, yeah. But like what these guys are saying, man. I think that's how you like grow connections, and that's why it makes it pretty cool. Like playing like some of these festivals and like some of these like you get a really good like local bands playing. And like sometimes people say like, "Oh man, like it's the same bands playing again." Like
like you never know. I mean, like in the past couple of years, yeah, the same bands have been playing like every flyer shows. But what sucked is we also lost a lot of like local people too. Like people from other bands we lost, and they just kind of like give up. Like, yeah, I'm not gonna do this. This is my last show, and then that's it. And you're like, man, I wish I just saw that one more time. It's like, yeah, just go out to a local show and have fun. I mean, you got nothing better to do besides what? Watch Netflix or play video games, jerk off? I don't know. I mean, I do that all the time too, but I'm not. But
we're family friendly here.
Or like if money wise,
I think I went blind.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
All right.
But
no,
yeah, like
I run into that problem. Like if there's a cool show going on, like
blind?
like
Oh no.
like if there's a show going on in Gallup and like I get off work and it's like 7 and like I really want to go, but my body won't let me. I'm like, oh man, and I just need to rest. Yeah, it's tough.
See, like for me, like when things happen like that, I really want to go, but I'm limited on. I mean, it's just not like I can live in a city and take the bus over to the venue, or like call an Uber. I don't know if Gallup has Uber.
Z.
I don't know. But 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 it's hard for me to like find rides and stuff like that. To get to venues. Like, man, I really want to go to that show, but there's nobody to go with. Then it's just I miss out on the show because I have nobody to drop me off and stuff like that.
Yeah, because there's a couple other ones that have been coming up too, but like financially with me now because my job decided like, yeah, we're gonna cut your pay, and I'm just like, yeah, dude, I can't survive on $400 a month now or a week. Because not only that too, it's just our van too sometimes just gives out or weather. Because we had to cancel a couple of shows because my van either like conks out or the weather just gets really crazy. So sometimes we don't make shows like that. Or go out to a local show sometimes. Because there have been a couple like lineups where I'm just like, damn, I'm never gonna see that again. And then when they come back again, I check them out or whatever. But yeah, sometimes it's just I don't know. The world's kind of weird right now. I can understand people going through some financial struggles to not see a show, but at the same time, it's just like you got nothing going on, you got nothing to do. Just check it out. You never know. I mean, you can find somebody pretty new and like, man, these guys are good. Because that's how it was when I met the guys from the Penguins. Because they opened up with us during Green Jelly, and weirdly enough, there wasn't that many people at the Green Jelly show. There was just like maybe 13 people there, and it was just like, this is weird, considering they're just like a really big influential band.
I don't even know what the question was. Your bunny trail so much.
That's all good. No, I mean, like, yeah, I was just I think we were just kind of like talking about like supporting other bands when you guys do like live shows, and then just how hard it is too to like make it to the show. I mean, whether if you're a fan or another band, like for me, if it's Monday through Friday, I really gotta like push myself to go like get out of work at this exact time and then go to the show and then like try to get back at a reasonable time so I can go back to work the next morning. It's but the weekend, I think the weekend works the best for me just because usually have nothing going on the next morning, so I'm free to like just check out the show like when I saw you guys last month in Gallup. And then I want to just talk about the upcoming shows you guys have. You guys have like 2 this month, right? Three this month. Okay. I know I saw the ones on like your pages, the D.R.I show, and then Doyle, right?
Yeah.
And what's the third one?
The 23rd. Yeah.
I don't even know the dates.
I know the 23rd is D.R.I, and then the 26th is Faye with a bunch of other cool bands, and then the 30th is with Doyle. I don't know that one. But then
everyone should check those out.
Yeah, those are like I'm not sure who else we're playing with for D.R.I. I just know it's just us right now, but I'm kind of hoping to get somebody else too because I know a lot of people love D.R.I.
And then July.
Yeah, July too.
July 14th. July 14th in the Yucca Tap Room in Tempe. We're playing a thing called Phoenix Fest. I think we're on there with a bunch of horror and psychobilly bands. And friend Levi is throwing that show with the intention of it being like a pre-Misfits show because Misfits are the next day in Phoenix. And he thought that would be really cool to do. And we're in the reincarnation of Five Sellers Below that came before. Rei Gurren is playing that one too as well, which me and Bryant are part of, and Levi's elsewhere, and the other guy, I don't know where he is. But
yeah. Everyone should check those out, and I'm definitely gonna put this out before those shows. And then I had a question. This is kind of like going back to something you mentioned earlier. You mentioned that you
ask anything, man.
Described your sound as like anime core.
Yeah.
Like I honestly don't know nothing about anime. Like I think I probably watched like Dragon Ball Z and that was about it. And then, but what would you say are like a couple like maybe like 3 that you think people should check out?
Definitely Cowboy Bebop because if you like some like Western cowboy or spaghetti cowboy noir, kind of like crime. That's like a good one. I'd probably suggest that. 2, probably. Well, no, I wouldn't suggest this one, but I'd probably say movie wise, check out Summer Wars, which is really fun. It's a good movie. And then 3rd, if you want something crazy, insane, like just straight up like ninjas, I'd probably say Ninja Scroll. I'm the only one that probably watches the most.
I've seen
anime.
I've never seen any of them.
Besides Dragon Ball or something.
He just watches Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
Yeah, my son,
That's all he watches.
Like 7 o'clock in the morning, kids are getting ready for school. Like Killer Clowns from Outer Space comes on TV. He's like, yes, like, here we go.
Or Godzilla.
Yeah, or Godzilla. Gonna bring Son of Godzilla back.
The only one I can think of is Castlevania on Netflix. That's a really good one. One of my favorites.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all I got.
Yeah, like I forgot when I was like in middle school. My oldest sister was like had a boyfriend. He gave us like a VHS like bootleg tape with anime in it, and then I remember I popped it in and just like scared the hell out of me, and it kind of just like I didn't really get into anime after that. Like it was just I think it was just like super bloody and like super like yeah, it was just crazy. I don't even remember the name of it. It was just yeah, it just scared the crap out of me. And then I just remember like Dragon Ball Z was cool because I stayed at the dorm. Like Flagstaff had a dorm for the native kids in high school, and like everyone was into Dragon Ball, so I would watch that with everyone. But yeah, then after that, I never really got into it.
A lot of it's an acquired taste.
Yeah, some of it
you got to find what suits you. Other than that, the rest is just
filler, fan service. Because I like stuff that has like either a good story or just like insane stuff, or something that just kind of kills my mind because my mind tends to go to really hardcore places. But I probably say like 2 of the ones or actually 3, I really get myself into is Ghost in a Shell, Fooly Cooly, and another one called Noir.
Okay.
Just because I like something that just kind of keeps me like grounded, but at the same time entertained.
Okay.
It's just kind of like with movies and how people tend to like use something to inspire them to write. I just keep myself like grounded more.
Yeah.
Because my mind's a weird place to be.
Yeah.
Mine are just my kids. Can't get more psychotic than that.
Oh yeah.
We all have our own influences too, which kind of plays into what we do.
Yeah. No, I mean, I guess the big thing I like is, I mean, separate from the anime, I don't know, I like documentaries. I really like sports documentaries. I don't know why, they just get me all fired up. Like, if they, like, profile, like, a coach or, like, a team or something. Like that Chinle Wildcat documentary on Netflix. I thought that was really cool.
Speaking of documentaries, did you watch the Res Metal one?
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, it's on, yeah.
It's funny because we're on there and we're like, we're not even metal. And people are like, yeah, we saw you guys on there. It's like, yeah,
what's that? Cool. What's that you were playing when that part came on? I was like, that's not even our song.
Yeah.
Like, it looks like I'm playing that riff, but I'm not. That's somebody else's song. And he's like, what was that you were playing? I'm like, that's not mine. That's not our song. That's not us. I don't know. It was funny.
Yeah, I like the scenes where they like film like the house shows, and then like all the other bands are watching I Don't Conform. And
yeah, that was our bros from Mutilate Tyrant. I think his name was Warren. They put on that show, and we got to play out in there. Kilichi.
I was talking about a different one. But I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
No, tacos.
And then Jonathan Nez is like, he's another highlight of that documentary.
Yeah.
He was the vice president back then.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're ever going to allow us to do like shows in the parking lot again, but I really hope so. Because
I hope Boo Nygren's cool like that. Yeah, come on, Boo.
No, he's trying to bring George Strait to the Navajo Nation Fair.
Yeah, bro. Bring somebody better.
Well, it's better than all like the B artists that they've been bringing out. So.
Yeah.
Well, if I do suggest a band they bring, I mean,
we might tag his bus again.
I mean, it's funny because when they bring like metal bands like that too, it's just like, man, I really hope they bring somebody good next year. But then they had that lineup where it's like, oh, they had Korn, and then then the next year they had like somebody else. They had like Testament, which was really good. Then they had Anthrax. I was like, oh man, hope somebody's gonna be good next year. Who the hell is Candlebox? And they're like, oh man,
Who's Fuel? What's the Fuel?
yeah.
But
Like I like to see them bring bands that like people would like go nuts for, especially bands that were like influential to people that are like, especially like all the metal heads that are like around here. Like the one band I was telling to my bro about, I was like, they should bring Suicidal Tendencies, considering that band is like right in that middle between thrash and like kind of hardcore punk, and I think they would bring like so many people here.
Yeah, I think they just got to find the right band that will attract like the older people, like like people who grew up in the '80s, and then like their kids who are probably like,
I don't know, with all the country bands now having more wicked mosh pits than metal shows, man. That George Strait might just break Navajo Nation. Man. I don't know.
I mean, if he charges like $100 a ticket, they could probably like like fix the roads or something. I don't know what that money.
Fix all the potholes by then.
It blew my mind when they actually brought the Misfits out. I was like, wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
It was cool.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. Yeah. Like stuff like that is always fun to see, especially if they throw like local acts onto that bill. Because I think Misfits was the only one I saw that had like local bands opening up for them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm looking forward to this first Navajo Nation fair with Nigrin.
I'm hearing some good things about it. I'm hearing some stuff building up, and they're hyping it up, and I'm like, oh man, like I'm kind of scared. Well, if I still lived across the fairgrounds, I would have been scared. But hopefully, coming back from all the crap that happened in the last couple of years, I hope this really, puts us back on the map, so to speak, because the Navajo Nation Fair in the past was really famous for being one of the biggest fairs on this side of the country.
Yeah, it seemed like there was like the different, like the Tuba City Fair, the Shiprock Fair, and they were all kind of like trying to see who would have the best, like who would bring the best artists.
T.I.
Man, like Delcon is the best out of all of them. All that dirty water and that dunk pool.
Yeah. No disrespecting Delcon, but
I'm just kidding, Delcon. We love you.
I miss your shows out there.
We do.
Those like some of those shows like way out in the boonies are like some of the best shows
for real.
Yeah,
some of them are like some of the best food too.
Like especially if it's like on somebody's property, like this is my mom's place, and then we start jamming there, like then the parents would feed us and like, oh man, you guys are awesome. But there's some boonie shows that are like really cool and fun, but then there's some that are just like, I hope we don't die tonight, because we actually had a gun pulled on us because we were selling tickets for casualties.
Oh, wow.
And then somebody didn't believe that those tickets were real, so they ended up pulling a gun on us. Like, I want my money back.
Oh no!
They're like,
that was like his first big show.
So it's like, I don't want to die for that. But it's just like there's like a lot of shows that they used to do that, especially like the Dungeon back in mini farms.
Uh-huh.
Like,
is that really a thing? Like George Strait?
Oh no, that's what I read. That like he like made his whole like thing on his social media account about trying to bring George Strait. And
how about he try and bring I just flopped.
Dark Side Grand Railway gets up there like, what
for the Navajo Nation Fair.
Yeah.
No, I'll be impressed. I'll be impressed if he brings Garth Brooks.
Oh yeah.
Even though he's prejudiced. No, whatever.
No, I think if he like for the right amount of money, he'll show up.
He's like, yes, keep those Indians away from my tour bus.
Yeah.
The world's greatest uncle is gonna be here. Just kidding. I'm
looking forward to it. I'm gonna go ahead and cut it off here, but you guys, thanks for your time, and you guys have some shows coming up. I hope everyone checks out, and is there anyone you want to like recognize or shout out?
Well, Ray can probably start because I have like a ton of people I can probably give a shout out.
How much time you got?
Okay, you ready? Get out your sleeping bag, dude. It's okay. Dude, like if you consider us a friend to your band, you're our friend, and we shout you out. Whoever you are, just put your name there. But specifically, Vacant Skies, those guys are like really close to our hearts. They're really cool dudes. and love them. Love you, Larry. And thank you for scaring me at Monte Vista. Definitely Christy from Observer Syndrome and the rest of Observer Syndrome. You guys should go check them out and get all crazy with them. And of course our homie Vicky for putting our shirt up in that place in Denver, and someone shouting. So that was really cool. So shout out to her for that. That really did a lot for me and made me realize that we actually do have supporters and fans and stuff. And I guess shout out to Cody from Juggernaut because we're always bothering him. You know, he's probably sick of us. You know, no, we got to the point where Ernie blocked us because we were bothering him too. But yeah, I'm done. I'm gonna shut up now.
I'd probably say like, geez, there's like a ton of bands I could probably just name off. Fatal Corruption, Mommy Milkers, the Penguins. Everyone knows Born a Winner and War Motor, brothers and sisters. Fatal Corruption, Condemn the World, Mutilate Tyrant, and I think Lardell said they're starting. He started a new band too, which I'm really excited to see. And geez, there's like so many bands I could nail off. If you know who I am, you could just put your band name underneath because there's like tons of you guys I know. But if I have to really give one big shout out to a band I really think people should listen to, check out, and definitely hit up, it's a band called Lilith, because that band blew my mind when I first saw them when they played in Shiprock, and they still do, and their music is insane, and I love it. It's the type of stuff I would love to listen to when I'm falling asleep. Not that bad way, but their music is insanely good, and I suggest people to go check them out. And I don't know, just any new coming bands that are coming out, I like to give you guys a shout out, just because I know how it is being a nobody, and then you trying to put yourself out there. So if somebody wants to put their name underneath the comment or something, definitely do that, because I like to check you guys out. I want to see some new music.
I want to do more. So a shout out to Otto and letting us be a part of their music video here in Wind Rock, and Robert Trujillo for wearing our button. That's totally mind blowing. And other than that, past members Steve, our Phil and Kevin for like one show.
Throwing Planets,
yeah.
That was cool.
Who else? I guess Jeff.
Hey, everybody.
Yeah, former members. You guys are cool, except for those two that I don't want to mention because you guys were a waste of time. Yeah, I'm gonna shut up now for real.
Dang, I was like,
Bryant.
you thought the Kiss conversation thing was bad. No, but yeah, shout out. I don't know. Like I said, I'm really quiet at the venues. But, I was like a huge thanks to Cody and Ernie from Juggernaut, because, I work a lot with them, and, I try to, push our band as much as we can. And like Ray was saying, I was like, we're always dealing with Cody, like hats off to Cody with working with me, trying to get things going. And, like Juggernaut's always a good place to play. That's where I got my start, so I always like playing Juggernaut. Shout out to Mommy Milkers, because they invited us to one of my first shows in Albuquerque at the Jam Spot. Oh, yeah. Well, it was really cool, like Kira and Trayvon for adding us to at that time. And like all the other bands, like Born in Winter, same thing. War Murder, Fatal Corruption. I got to hang out with them a lot. I see them at the shows. I really enjoy all their like kick-ass sets and stuff, dude. I was like,
then also Heart Museum too, because these guys have been really special to us since the beginning.
Yeah, and yeah, dude. I was like, it's like it's just a lot of bands out there, a lot of local bands out there. I mean, there's just so much that you can say about every band. Like every band has like a unique style, and they have their own personal attachments to each other band. It's just so much respect there. Like all the other bands putting up, like being able to put a show on takes a lot of work. Doing shows and trying to find fill-ins and spots sometimes, it's hard. But shout out to all the local bands out there. It's like I always put that like in my post. Sometimes I always support like the local bands, and come check out the shows. Like you got nothing to do, it's fine. It's cool, man. Come check out the show, and oh yeah,
our buddies from Obsolete too, because
yeah,
Uncle Thomas, Leon, you need to come back, bro. I miss you.
Oh wait, let me do one more. Oh, and then shout out to that one car at Walmart. Like my daughter took a picture because they had a Rei Gurren sticker on the back of the car, and I took a picture. Or my daughter took a picture, and then I sent it to Ray. Like, yeah, thank you to that one car at Walmart. Oh, and then King Dragon for letting us put our sticker outside the drive-thru. Thank you, King Dragon.
Okay. One more last one, guys. Seriously, I want to do a special shout out to our boy Kelvin here for highlighting all these bands and just getting our name out there. I'm like, I know people in like different corners of the country are going to hear us. Hopefully we've entertained you. That's our goal because we're a band and stuff. So, Sir Kelvin, and thank you for telling me about George Strait.
All right.
I'm looking forward for those